thought up by Gilbert and his team or from the artisans themselves. It's not clear. But they're very fresh and very vibrant. These lunette paintings on this side, as you can see, the female figure is a kind of is identified as the figure of commerce. It was very typical in the 1890s through about 1910, 1920 in civic and public buildings to show allegorical figures representing either traits or ideas or sort of indeterminate ideas that were to be respected and honored. So instead of having the Virgin Mary, as you might see in a church setting, you see the saint of commerce in this secular cathedral. There's no accident. Right, and a triptych feel, right, because it's not one panel painted, one canvas, but it's three with these architectural elements in between. She is aided by a page. I sort of think of these figures as pages on the one side, representing maritime trade, and on the other train travel and trade. The two main spurs of business activity, certainly in our country and elsewhere in the world.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So she is set up as kind of like a queen on a throne, holding the globe, suggesting the global reach of business. And then over on the other side of this transept of sorts, you see the figure of labor. Again, a kind of queenly allegorical representation of an idea and a theme that was central to Woolworth's view of the world and capitalism. It's no accident that this building became known as the Cathedral of Commerce. That was coined by a man named Edward Cochrane, who wrote an introduction in a little booklet that was a kind of commemorative flyer where the Reverend S. Parks Cadman wrote a further essay in the booklet, and Cadman is sometimes linked to coining the phrase. It's actually Cochrane, and then Cadman kind of popularized it. But the figure of labor is flanked with two pages who carry elements of agricultural wealth and bounty. On the one hand, raw materials of wheat or grain, and then on the other, the bounty of fruits and vegetables from farming, perhaps suggesting the early history of farming and the significance of agriculture in our early history as a nation. They were painted by another German, a man named C. Paul Jennerlein. Not a lot is known about him, but the fact that we don't know much about him speaks to the existence of many, many artisans who were capable of doing decorative painting, very elaborate decorative programs, whether in mosaic or in stained glass, in many different kinds of media at the turn of the century. New York had quite an extensive web of artisans capable of working in lots of fields. It's not known why these areas were constructed as part of the plan. My reading is that they should be looked at as kind of elevated chapels. In a regular church plan, you would see spaces like this off of the nave at street level or at the main level, and they would be given over to quiet reflection, perhaps intimate services, or the following of a certain rite in church liturgy. But it's as if these chapel-like spaces can't even be held down by the incredible verticality and height of the building. There's no gravity here. These chapels are raised up in the air in the sense that there's kind of a lightness to the rest of the building that just sort of carries you upward. But the fact that originally had an access, at least on this side. I'm not sure who the tenant was on that side, but on this side, this would have connected to the banking area. And if you look at the doors, the original designs included this locking mechanism. So it's possible, it's not documented, but it's possible that banking executives brought potential clients with deep pockets here to say, wouldn't you want to have your money in our bank, which is housed in such a palatial and sumptuous setting? That is my reading of it, but as I said, there's no documentation, and it's just not clear why they were constructed, or whether it was pure fancy, aesthetic fancy on the part of the